unbelievable coordinator, and I can see you on stage here as a speaker in a few years. Great job. So I am here to talk, the topic is, what is success? So I polled, many of you are in high school, like you said, seniors, I polled a couple of high school students. First thing they said is, money. I want a lot of money. I can answer this categorically. It's not money. Success is not money. Money comes, hopefully, as a byproduct of success, and generally it does come. But certainly, it's definitely not money. And I say this because in high school, sometimes you want that fancy car or whatever you want, that's not it. So what is success? So I'll give you a little acronym to remember at the beginning of each day. And I call that TBD, which is to be done. It's really a common phrase. When you wake up every day, this is what you got to ask yourself. Am I going to spend the day living up to my true potential? Am I going to be the best in whatever you are, whatever the best? That's the B. And I'm going to make a difference. It's TBD. Every day, you look at what you have and you decide, is that what you want to do? So, and I'm going to share very simply three things. This is not rocket science, but I'm going to share what has brought, I think, me success. But I'm going to share a little story first. I worked at Lockheed for 6 years, and after I spent like 4 years or so, I went to my manager and I said, hey, how do I get promoted? What do I need to do? And how do I become a manager? He said, when you act like a manager, you'll be a manager. I'm like, what the heck? I have no idea what the guy even meant. Like I'm here, I'm asking for advice, and he's telling me something so obscure, I have no clue. So anyways, but I realized what he meant 10 years later. And what he meant was, you look for managers or good people, good managers, and emulate what they do. How do they communicate? How do they work? All of these things. So I decided, after I shut my business, I'm not going to be obscure. I'm going to answer it direct. Every time somebody tells me, I'm going to tell them, here's 1, 2, 3. Do the best I can. So that's what I'm going to do for you. So how do you get to success? So to me, I would say it's 3 simple steps. Again, it's not rocket science. And you heard this from other speakers before. First is to follow your heart. Second, you got to work hard. And third, you have to persist with equanimity. And that's a new word that I'm going to talk about at the very end. So the easy part is, follow your heart. What does that mean? You do stuff that you enjoy. Like when work doesn't seem like work, it seems like fun. When you're doing it, time goes by so fast, you never see time go by. I grew up in India and I came here when I was 20. It wasn't the case I was always told in a career, you got to either be a doctor or a lawyer. This is coming from India. So, my dad didn't go to college, my mom didn't go to high school, so education was very important to them. So, me and my siblings all have, master's degrees. So, I took the courses in high school, got into medical school, got into engineering school. And then my dad says, we already have a doctor in the family who's your brother. We don't need 2 doctors. That's how I became an engineer. So they wanted me to follow the safe route, traditional route, and that's not my advice to you. My advice to you students is follow your heart. But I did that after I came to the US. I came to Virginia Tech first, doing my electrical engineering master's. And then it was very early on, computer science was just starting, but I just absolutely loved computer science. But what that meant was, in my first trimester, I had to, go back and do undergraduate courses because I had no background in computer science, which meant I would not get a scholarship or an assistantship, and I took a loan to come here. But that's what I did. The next 2 trimesters, I took all undergraduate courses, and it does have a happy ending because University of Pittsburgh gave me a scholarship to go to school here. So it worked out great for computer science. The second part is working hard. And for me, I personally never care about being the smartest person in the room. But I always want to be the hardest working person in the room, including this room with all you speakers and all you distinguished guests. I want to be the hardest working person here. And that's really important to me. But it's a relative term. What does hard work mean? You work till 8 o'clock one day and you think it's hard. I mean, I worked every weekend when I started my business, mixed up for Steeler games. It was the only thing I broke to watch. But every weekend I work, every single weekend. And I want to give you an example of Kobe Bryant. If you, he's got some good books you can read, inspiring books. And Phil Jackson said that he was a coach for 10 years. And Kobe Bryant would outwork. Is this on? Okay, I'm going to continue. Kobe Bryant, Phil Jackson said, Kobe Bryant would outwork anybody there. So what they would do is they would have, before the game, they would have a pre-game warm-up. And Kobe would, when Phil Jackson got to the arena, would be sleeping in his car because he had already done the same warm-up. He was sleeping and he would do the warm-up again with his team. And that was incredible. And he has a comment there that says, hard work overperforms talent all the time. And I say this because you're all at the Sewickley Academy. Clearly, you're all very talented people. Imagine if you put the talent and the hard work together. It is something that would be unbelievable. Thank you. So just imagine the potential you have. Take the talent, take the hard work, something spectacular. So the last part is persist with the equanimity. So let me talk, persistence is like everybody talked about it. You got to go through, if you have a dream, you got to follow what it is, and you do it no matter what. And I'll give you one example. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I started my own business. So my very first company was a software that I built, very similar to MyFitnessPal. So I was in school, University of Pittsburgh, doing my master's. Me and a buddy of mine who went to school with me built the software. It was MyFitnessPal. It was great. We spent a year there, had an expert system in there. I spent the whole year working on it, and then we decided we'll take it to an expo to sell it. Expo had like thousands of people in the expo, but only 2 people willing to pay for it. Me and my buddy who built it. There was no market, and I realized at that point, that's the first thing I needed to do. It was learning experience. Don't spend 1 minute of your time unless you know there's a market and unless somebody is willing to buy the stuff. So that's important. Now let's talk about equanimity. This is something that I have learned over the years. What does this mean? This means treating any outcome, success, failure, positive, negative, with the same balance. That is something that I have learned out. It took me like almost 20 years to learn this. It doesn't mean indifference. It doesn't mean you're not doing your best. It means that sometimes, despite your best effort, things may not go the way you want, but that's okay. You learn from it. That is the most crucial thing about equanimity. Like when you put your very best effort, and don't let the success get to your head, or the failures get you down. Because success is immediate gratification. Failure is delayed gratification. That's the way you got to look at it. So let me close by telling you, to me, when you say what is success, success to me is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey to me. And like I said, that equanimity, don't let the highs get to your head, don't let the lows bring you down. But you wake up every day and you say, remember the word TBD, am I living up to my true potential? That's the first thing. Does this take me on the path to be the best, the very best in the field? And the third is, am I going to be making a difference? Thank you all.